of Saturday at John's Part 2. Put a little primer on after lunch. On the top, I didn't do any on the bottom, but today I'm just going to paint this area right here so I can get the canopy on. And that's what I need to do. Need to concentrate on that. But so within the next hour, we'll be out in the garage painting some white again. But I need to get this sanded out. So if you're into sanding, this is the channel for you.
Most definitely.
If you're not into sanding, this may not be the right place for you. You can go watch them auto guys sand, but they just go, done. Okay, squirt on some shit and we're done. This is a buttload of sanding. As John stated, there's more sanding on this than there is a car.
Yeah.
So we're getting there. I mean, I'm not looking to, my original thought was, well, we'll get over here and I'll be able to shoot a coat of white on it. Well, because I didn't really get after the sanding during the week, it's not possible. And this week, because of the inspection on Tuesday, I've gotta clean my apartment up and get all the dust off everything. So there's not gonna be a whole lot of sanding there after tomorrow. I can make a small mess, but not a big one like I got. It's gonna take me a full day to clean that place. Like a really field day. They look at the bathroom and the kitchen sink and
yeah.
I don't know what
refrigerator, check all that shit. That's a yearly thing.
Yeah. I don't know what they're looking for.
Looking for if you're putting holes in the walls and shit like that. And probably for insurance purposes too, you gotta go in there and
I gotta get all the dope out of there.
yeah.
I'll put it in the car. I think I only got about 2 cans of paint in there. 3 maybe. The rest is in the car. Or over here. Like, subscribe, and share. Leave a comment. Tell us we don't know what we're doing.
Huh. Good luck. Let's see. Do I want to use a piece of 8" on that, or do I want to use a piece of 16? But what do I want to use on that nose ring? I don't know if I want to go with 64th or not on that.
It's pretty thin.
Go with something a little thicker. A little thicker. There, piece of 16. That would be Nice.
Oh man.
This whole template doesn't have a 2 1/8 inch hole thing.
Dan, if you're watching, you better be sanding. Now that looks like a mess, but that's really flat. That's really flat. And that's what you want. Really flat. This one's going to have to hang on the wall, and the tucker's going to have to be on my stand on Tuesday. I don't want to trip over it on the floor. Looks to me like I'm ready for paint on the top here. For sure this time.
For sure this time. Okay.
Well, let's see if somebody said something. Nope, we got 5 watchers and 1 thumbs up, but nobody's saying anything. A little dent right there. Look at that. Look at all them little peckerheads. Can you guys see those little lows right there? It's no good.
No, I can see them. Looks like little dents.
Yeah, little dinkers.
Cut it right down to that line. Still on there anyway. Okay. Well, I think that's about it for sanding on the top. What's going to happen now? I'll paint this area white. I'm not going to shoot white all over the whole airplane because I know it's not ready, and I just don't want to load it up with dope. So we'll shoot this white and get the canopy or the pilot and the cockpit installed and done, and mold it all in. It's going to take primer to do that again, and then sand it all out. Hopefully by next weekend we can be ready to shoot white on it, unless I see some other glaring errors that I can't live with. Which is a possibility.
Keep sanding. Okay. Get this in here to show you. It looks pretty good. I mean, got a few more areas to go. But you can tell how it's going to look by giving her a swipe. I'd say there's at least 30 hours more sanding. I don't know. And that doesn't include the finish sanding. That's after the clear's on. And that can be as much as 100 hours. You think I'm kidding?
You're looking at the wrong guy, if that's what you think. Big.
Made a little progress today. Rough there. And you feathered in. Yeah. You know, John, we were talking at lunch today about how some guys got all the money.
Yeah.
I'd rather have all the talent.
I'd rather just live in peace and have to worry about all that little crap.
I don't think you understand who I'm talking about. 'Cause all the toys in the world ain't gonna make you any more talented.
Yeah, the spinner got played out somewhere.
No, this is a different.
Take it up. I like one that's a 2-inch spinner.
Well, in that box there, but it's metric. It's 53 millimeter.
It's the one off that. Yeah, but the shade under. Shade under.
Here, use this one, I guess.
See, here's one. That's probably metric too, but that's probably what I'm going to be using on it anyway. I want to make this just a little bit big. Yeah, that's just a little bit over.
What size is that?
What size is this?
Yeah.
Oh, it's more.
Well, leave it that. And then put the spinner on it and sand to the spinner after you get it.
Well, that's what I intended to do. I just want it barely oversized, just enough to get that little bit of an angle to it. Let's see, we're at 2.8.
Them are the spinners you're going to use.
And this is 2.55. 2.08 to 2.55. So that's just, that'll work. That'll be perfect. You won't have to spend 10 years sanding something in,
Can't remember the guy's name, but at Brodax, there's a guy who builds really well. Had a red, white, and blue chipmunk and a silver P51 and nice profile. Really built good. I think he won a concourse trophy too. What the hell was his name?
P51 and chipmunk.
Yeah, he was doing fiberglass chipmunk cowlings, and
Well, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name now.
he had nice
either.
panel lines on them, and had a trailer filled with crap. Okay, so I didn't bring any sandpaper, and I thought I did, but oh well. But I did bring 2 cans of primer, 2 partial cans. Glue it on there.
Even at that oversized, see, by moving that out 1/4 of an inch,
Yeah.
these corners are still heavy,
Yeah,
so
you
I
have a
have to
square
knock
loop.
them down. Yeah, I got a square circle, bigger than anything. And since I cut these on center line, I'm centering this on the center line of those 2 pieces.
Yeah. Looks to me like it's already got out thrust in it too.
It shouldn't have anything in it.
Yeah, it looks like it's got.
Got a little bit, and I probably sanded that in there by accident, but that's fine. That's about a degree, maybe 1.5 degrees, you think?
Yeah. 2 maybe.
2 maybe. No, that's perfect. It'll work great. Now you can also cock that cowling a little bit, to line things up. So,
It's only wood. You can do anything you want.
well, it's going to be fiberglass. fluor on there, a little bit more epoxy, and it'll be slather and stuff.
Yeah.
Popsicle stick, 5 minutes, gooper.
If I keep sanding and I get all the boogers out of this thing's gonna be really sharp, I think.
You're already on the right path.
It's just all the sanding.
Eternal.
Let's see where it balances. Pretty far forward. But yeah,
Wait, did it pick up?
I don't know. Can't tell. It picked up an ounce just from the spinner change.
Yeah.
This one was sanded in with this spinner too. The Tucker was sanded in with that. You gonna put a wood screw in it?
Probably not. I'm just gonna leave that hole there. That hole, when I mold the cowling, will make an indentation and that'll give me a reference for drilling, starting the hole around the crankshaft. I normally line these up. I line all my cows up normally with as small holes I can get in, like crankshaft size holes. And that gets me perfectly aligned, and then
What happened to my phone now? There it is. 247. Listen to this. The Red Cross won't accept plasma donations for people who have had the COVID vaccine. You're willing to put something in your body that is so untested that the FDA and Red Cross don't know if you can donate plasma, yet not me wanting to wear a mask, or me not wanting to take it makes it irresponsible. Okay?
so now our blood blanks are gonna run out of
Yep.
essential.
What are you making here?
That was just a cut off piece, and I left it here because it was sort of neat looking. It's just, I figured you'd pick up on that and ask me, what the heck is this?
A new kind of balsa wood, huh?
That's just something I trimmed off, and it was pretty even and nice, neat just for a saw job. No sanding done to it.
Okay.
Yeah, this place is a freaking mess.
I'm about out of smoker anyway, so. Been on 30 minutes. I've had no comments in 30 minutes.
That's unusual. Well, we didn't have any comments this morning either.
So you're gonna make them out of aluminum?
I'm gonna try to find a piece of plastic first. It would probably work just fine out of aluminum. I mean, I've got the tap. This is a 3/8 24 or something like that thread. And, but I want to do a double O-ring in it, which there's no room there to do anything. So I'll just copy this exactly, but put two.
Maybe we gotta see if we can find some Viton O-rings.
I was thinking that too, them orange ones. I was thinking that too. Maybe they'll hold up longer.
That's what we use in Harleys is Viton.
Now what I did to this one, rather than putting an O-ring, because I couldn't really tell the proper O-ring size.
Put a rubber band inside it.
I put a neck size bigger
Yeah.
O-ring in it and squished it down, and it appears like it's working. Because it's going to squish it down and compress it but it's not overly tight. We'll see, we'll try it like that and see what it does. If it just starts pushing it past it, then I know I have to double O-ring and use the Vitron or Vertron or whatever they're called, the double ones. But I think what these things really need, in order for O-rings to work right, this needs a sleeve put on this that fits real snug.
Yeah.
So that it can't expand.
Right. But then how do you see through the sleeve?
Well, you do a slot in it.
Yeah.
So you can see the measurement.
Viton O-rings.
Okay, I found this on the web for Vitrano rings. Check it out.
Vitano.
Right.
Amazon, so we can get some.
Well, you get them at Harbor Freight. You can get,
Yeah, Harbor Freight.
well, this is a kit from Harbor Freight.
I'm
These
talking
are
about
the regular ones.
Viton.
But you can
Viton
get,
O-rings.
you can get them from Harbor Freight too.
I didn't get that. Try tapping above to edit.
No. Viton O-rings.
Here's what I found.
Temperature rating.
They're chemical resistant, temperature, high temperature, higher temperature.
The DuPont product. It's a DuPont product. Chemical resistant O-rings.
I found this on the web.
Oh, O-ring compatibility chart. I bet nitromethane won't be on it.
Yeah. Why not be? They'll be flagging you some kind of Unabomber or something.
Let's see here. They got a lot of, they got alcohol. HIJK, isobutyl, HIJKLMN. Yeah, they got a lot of mil specs. M. Nicotine, NITRO, T, nitromethane, nitroaline, nitrobenzene, nitrothane, nitrogen. They didn't even show nitromethane on here.
Really?
Oh, there it is. Nitro. No, that's nitrodiethylene. That must be what they're talking about. Nitrothane. nitrocellulose, nitrobenzene. Let's try that.
Did you just punch up nitromethane and it didn't come up with anything?
Yeah. Trying to find compatibility. Chemical resistant O-rings.
One sec. I found this on the web.
Well, great.
I think that Jim Lee sells them Bertron O-rings, Vitron, Butron, Bertron, whatever they're called.
Not found. Shit. Oh well.
Yeah.
Well, I need to paint this thing
Not found.
so we can retire to the garage or whatever. I'd use a Dremel.
No, I don't want to fill.
SUV with available HVAC will drive to help you travel way off the beaten path. Find new adventures together
she
in the
sounds
Hyundai
sane.
Santa Fe.
What?
She sounded stoned or something.
Yeah.
Not that I know anything about that.
That was frickin' Frack the Crappit Brothers. That's the only NPR station I'll listen to. National Retard Radio.
Frickin' frack. Get back ways.
I try to outsmart them, which ain't too hard.
This is gonna blend right in really nice.
Of course it will. Bando!
Sendo! Lavo!
Sendo the bando!
Right there, guys. There's what we got here after adding a 1/4 inch both directions. 1/4 inch here, 1/4 inch here. Different nose ring. And these got enlarged a little bit. But there's the makings of the extra cow.
The big mama.
It's all hollow on the inside.
Yeah.
It's not super big. I mean, I bet you. I wonder what that Bearcat is. 8 inches. This is 4 inches. Back at the firewall, it's about 4 by 4. Up here at the nose, it's about. That's about maybe 4.5 back here at the firewall, and 4 inches at the very tip. There it is. So that's not too bad. Heck, a classic Bearcat is like 6 inches. Raby Bearcat, about 6 inches in cow diameter. First time I had to start that thing, I reached down like that to grab the nose of it, and I'm going, how the hell can I hold on to this thing? Because you can't get a grip on it, you know. You just sort of cradling it in the palm of your hand. Like, I better get Barb over here. Hold this thing. So I gotta get. We'll get this evening. We'll get this all super filled up.
I'd go get some Bondo. I wouldn't waste my super fill on it.
Not gonna take that much. You gotta fill in a 64th of an inch concave there, 64th of an inch concave there.
1/4 inch on the top to get that roll back in it. You want it to go real nice, like that, you know, like the shape of a spinner.
Yeah, I'll take something hard when I do this and I'll squeegee that. But look, you're hard pressed to even slide a piece of paper under there, although we can see it.
You want it to roll like that. You don't
No,
want it.
it's not supposed to. That's not scale.
It's flat right here.
Well, it's flat in the center because it's low. It does need to. It needs to come up from here to here. It needs to be like that when it's done, with a little radius as it comes up here, which I'll put in it. And then these sides, I mean, you can see it, but you can't hardly detect it. So that's not gonna take any secrets, really, I feel that. That little bit won't take anything. We'll be good to go. One little bag about yay big around.
You're gonna have to fill all this, or you're gonna glass over it, right?
Yeah, it'll all be glass down in there.
Yeah, I would recess that some more so that the glass goes down in there some more.
You gotta watch about doing too much, because when you start getting into negative relief angles and all that kind of stuff, and you gotta.
Well, I guarantee you now, if you put glass on that and tried to release it out of there, it would stick to that.
Well, the glass is going over here just to form all this into one piece. That's the only reason why I'm putting glass on this, and then I can finish from the glass out. I don't have to worry about this thing possibly breaking apart, because this is just wood glued to plaster of Paris. You know, how strong can that be?
Let's go up in the garage. I want to paint this, and I gotta get out of here. I'll have to make 2 trips. Take the bag. I'll take the bags up. We can take the camera up. I'll come back down and get the airplane. I'm not gonna put it in the stand. I'm just gonna paint it on the floor because I'm just gonna do that cockpit. That's it. It don't look too bad, does it? Getting better.
No, but I haven't had a chance to really go over it. You know, which.
Well, there's all kind of spots in it. I know that. Right here. I had one there. I got out.
You know, just it looks better and better every time you come over here, because I know how much work you put into getting it to that point.
It's just gonna take a shit pile more sanding.
Well, listen, wouldn't be sanding on them wings too much more. You're gonna be burning that paper.
Oh, I know.
Not that you don't know that already.
You get the camera.
Okay, here we go, guys. Vomit cam. Boing, 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 boing. Excuse me. Better not turn that light out. You might make it out of the basement.
Oh, it's raining out. Isn't that lovely?
Thrilling. We get rain. Supposed to rain all the way through tomorrow. Which we really didn't want that to happen. Gotta plug in the compressor. Noise, more noise.
Okay. I put a little retarder in it because it's raining, and I didn't put much. I don't think it's gonna blush because it's not hot. And we ain't painting much, and even if it does blush, it don't matter. It's under the canopy, probably. I'm just gonna switch it right there. Maybe it's a little overspray. See if it's thin enough to come out. Should be.
Well, you sprayed it before.
No, I didn't. That's new paint. Oh, shoot. What happened here? Oh, crap.
Coming out of the gun okay?
Yeah, that's good. Nice, fine spray.
So about 50-50 with a little bit, maybe 5% retarder.
I'll let that flash over for a while and stick another coat on it.
No.
All the inside gonna be black, all the way up the sides and all that, gonna be black.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I gotta get the inside better. Load her up, load her down. I'll let it sit for a minute. See what the boys have to say, if anything.
Good as Borderman's. Good as.
Bald and dangerous. Evening, guys from the UK. Still watching. Know nothing about model making, but enjoy watching. No problem. Seems like a lot of gray to cover with a limited white, but trust me, this paint will cover it easy.
You just covered it right there in one coat.
Yep.
There in that cockpit. Just gonna put a second coat on it because it is a cockpit and it's gonna be sealed in here pretty soon and you don't wanna have to go back on anything.
You can't.
Can't go back on that.
It's well covered, but I'll hit it again.
It looks like a car. It's shiny.
Yep. It looks like a custom car paint job without using any paint.
Nice and smooth. Doesn't have two little dings inside the cockpit area.
Yeah.
Almost imperceivable, but noticeable nevertheless.
Bald and Dangerous. He's from Bad Chad over there at that channel.
Cool old Bad Chad, he's pretty neat.
Yep.
He's just a normal, regular old guy. He was doing a thing the other day. I was watching the video where he had a small set of rolls, for rolling sheet metal, and then he had all these different attachments that it was all like one conglomerate piece with little storage spots in it. And he said, you don't need all you do with big equipment is get a bigger shop to hold the bigger equipment. He says, all you need is this. You can build an entire car with this. And he was right. He had a shrinker, a stretcher, some kind of an anvil, a flat table. What else did he have? He had a whole bunch of different things, all hooked into this one thing. And it was probably 4.5 foot wide and 3 foot tall. Everything's in that one little spot. And he's got everything right there. I could see I was looking for a heavy duty gallon plastic jugs. You can see where all those were leaking. Those were factory fuel jugs that were leaking.
Oh, yeah.
So I was looking for either heavy duty or metal gallon cans.
You can get them on Amazon. $6 a can.
Yeah, $6 or $7 a can. I used to be able to get that stuff local here at the Glidden Paint or one of them places. They sold all sorts.
You got all kinds of fuel cans.
Yeah, I know,
thinner cans.
empty thinner cans. I was going to get some bare metal ones so I could paint them up, look like whatever I wanted to.
So strip the label off. We could probably get those bare cans from Wix.
Yeah, probably.
I know them guys pretty well over there. Seems like a whole lot of Grady cover with limited white on body. Yeah. Trust me, one coat and it's covered.
And that's not a windy coat.
Yeah.
Sorry, Wendy.
Yeah, we should be pretty much, I don't know. Might be flat, but you notice that, like I told you, I used a little bit of retarder. This product right here. Because it's very moist out today. It's not real hot. If it was real hot, you'd have to use twice as much.
But it is raining.
But it is raining, yeah. You're not supposed to be painting lacquer in the rain. Of course, this ain't really lacquer. It's hard to explain. It's glue.
It's film melted down.
Yeah.
Nitrocellulose melted in lacquer thinner. When you add retarder to butyrate dough, it sort of rubberizes it a little bit. It makes it, like I say, more rubbery, less brittle.
1 drop of castor oil per ounce of dough will plasticize it.
Yeah, it will. Most definitely, that works. Everybody's afraid to do it, though.
Yeah. I don't have no castor oil.
You can go buy a bottle of Flexol from,
Which is castor oil.
which is a little bottle of castor oil, and it tells you on no more than a half a teaspoon,
Per gallon.
yeah, per gallon of paint. And it just makes it, like I said, it sort of rubberizes it, makes it more flexible, but you really, 90% of the time, we don't use any of that. We paint in the winter time, which is normally really dry.
Yeah, we're late start this year.
If it's still snowing out, that's really the best time to be painting because you know humidity. Let's see what we got here. Says about 70% right in here now, if that's right. I wouldn't paint a whole airplane right now.
No,
Um,
I'm just painting those fillet areas.
yeah, get a little started on it.
Yeah, I guess it's gonna be black inside. That's it.
Looks pretty.
It'll be perfect once it's painted again. That was about ½ ounce of paint. Hey, how about this roll?
What about it?
Was this mine or yours?
It beats the hell out of me.
Because I was missing a roll it was a small roll like this.
I don't know, Sparky. I can't tell you that shit.
Okay,
No new tweets.
nobody's saying nothing.
You can tell what's gonna happen when you paint that whole thing.
What?
Right by the wing where you sort of painted over that.
Right.
It's gonna just,
She'll flow right into it. This is,
leave right now. Jar right there in front. Use these cheap paper towels for that. Save these good ones for actually working on the airplane.
yeah.
I wish you didn't have that pre-curved hose stuff.
The what?
It's pre-curved hose.
Yeah.
It's made for auto retract reels and hand crank reels. And I got one down here that I need to replace the hose on. I don't know if they used an oiler in their system. If they used an oiler for running air guns and stuff like that in the system, then that oil will come out of there or not. I don't trust that. Out of.
We'll put it up on the table and get a look at it in the camera.
Pretty nice and shiny.
It's a shame that I gotta put more filler on it and sand it some more, huh?
Yeah, 'cause it's right on the verge. It's right on the verge of being ready just to go ahead and shoot it.
Yeah.
But the more you can fix now means the less you're gonna have to fix later, so. I don't know, I didn't expect you to spray that much primer on it.
Well, I didn't either, but
Obviously, you saw some stuff that I missed.
yeah. Terrible.
I didn't really go over that thing like I could have.
I haven't used a half a can of primer though. Maybe a quarter can.
Yeah, well,
It was a half a can when I started, and now it's still a half a can, but
it goes pretty far.
it's pretty thick shit. Okay, so let's pull it up here and give you a close-up view of what we just covered, and I'll give you the rundown of what's gonna happen. And you'll get to see that tonight because I'm gonna start closing it off tonight. You know what I didn't do? I didn't take any unthinned white out of this so I could paint the inside of the canopy. So it's gonna be a few coats. Oh, well.
Well, be easy on it with that retarder in there because you don't want to melt it. You shouldn't with that little bit of retarder in it, but
Yeah, I kinda hate to chance it though. Let me put this back in the car.
go light. It won't hurt it. I painted many of them. When you start getting into using a lot of retarder in the dope, you need to be careful shooting canopies and plastic stuff because what it'll do, it'll melt it. Um, and especially if you put it on real heavy and wet coat, if you sort of dust it on there lightly, make it cover, but dust it on sort of dry, it'll go on and not affect it. But I've seen guys spray their whole canopy with clear that had retarder in it, and a lot of retarder, and it just took the canopy and just melted it in an unrecognizable state, and of course that's a lot of work.
What?
Melt a whole canopy where they sprayed it clear over a whole canopy that had a lot of retarder in it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's a little light over here, but I think it'll be all right because the canopy's gonna be.
You can sort of see that, but the lighting makes it look like you're in the dark.
Okay, so now what happens is the canopy gets epoxied on, and we'll take superfill and I'll blend it in to this and prime it. And so this is going to get primered again in this area.
Yeah.
Prime it in and then tape the canopy off so that when I paint this airplane, it'll look like it's one piece, like it's supposed to. Boy, it is dark. The camera don't want to compensate for that. We're glaring into the sun, that's why. There you go. Uh-oh. What is that, a piece of dirt on there? Dirt on the phone? Dirt on the phone.
See, I saw a little sun highlight in there, like you put a checkerboard on the windscreen on there, and I said, "Oh my God, there's a piece of dust that went in that." And I looked closer. I said, "No, it was just the glare from the lighting."
Yeah, we can't have no dust inside there.
I said, "Yeah, you got to make this thing sealed off to the inside of the cockpit too, as best as you can, the inside of the airplane, because any pinhole in there." Once that's sealed in, it'll gravitate right up there, and then it'll stick to the inside of that canopy, and you'll never get it out. Never get it out. Make sure it's all sealed. Yeah, that's great. That looks great. You put that canopy on there and paint that band around it. Are you gonna paint a stripe across
No,
the front?
I was thinking about it, but no. I'm too far behind.
Yeah, it adds a lot of difficulty to it.
I'm good, I don't want to add another doodad on there that's going to take me another week to do.
It'll be fine without it. I mean, a lot of them are done like that.
Look at the profile of this. It just turned out perfect. With,
Yeah,
tapering
it looks good.
that down, and it's got a nice round.
Looks like your typical standard stunner.
Yeah.
With a shoestring look to it.
Look at that beautiful spinner.
Double barrel spinner.
I'd order another one of those, but they're so damn heavy.
Yeah. I think Brodacks are lighter. They don't have that big nose cone on them.
Yeah, they do.
Brodacks?
Yeah, exact copy.
I
The
didn't
only
think
difference
they
is the back plate. They got holes in their back plate.
had True.
It's like Randy, whoever makes those spinners for Randy, they just took one of those over to China. Here, produce these.
The ones that, those carbon ones that we did are really the best all around outside of
Medusa, which you can't.
Medusa you can't get. I mean, that's going to be the lightest that's hopefully still commercially available. Now, I don't know. since all this COVID crap, and
They might put an embargo on them guys.
yeah, we might, Hobby King and Bang Good and all them places might get shut down, or they'll triple in prices on everything for, import duties and all that kind of stuff.
I want you guys to stick with me on this. If these jokers want to triple their prices, we're not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. I'll make everything.
Well, look at music wire. I bought some music wire the other day. It went from 27 cents a stick to $1.19.
That's a big market.
Yeah.
Well, dope went from 80 to 96, $16, and Superfruit went from 28 to 36, $8. The reason why I made that last order with Wix for the dope was, man, I know I got to get on the bandwagon and get some product before.
We should have done that back in November.
Yeah. But I really didn't get nothing. I spent $200 and some odd, almost $300, but I didn't get nothing. I got 1 gallon of thinner, 1 gallon of butyric crystal clear, 1 gallon of white, and some superfill.
And gives us 6 airplanes.
Yeah. So how long does it take to build 6 airplanes? Year?
Well, if it's you,
Since I've been here and known you, I've built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 airplanes.
plus the combat planes.
They don't count.
Yeah.
That's-
Okay,
that's
4
11.
4 of them and make it 1,
Yeah.
or 3/4 of 1, half 1.
Oh, I forgot. There's the high roller. I forgot the high roller.
Yeah. It was all painted and everything over here.
Yeah.
And I built half of them. I built 3 airplanes and 4 combat planes. Built three full-size gunners and 4 combat planes, and you built 6 full-size gunners and 4 combat planes.
I got nothing else to do. What am I supposed to do?
Well, dude, I got a whole house full of stuff to do.
Yeah.
And you're in an apartment, so you don't have all that outside maintenance and all that kind of stuff.
And I don't have any place to really build it. I'm building in a closet,
Well, you're living in your hobby shop.
Yeah.
Like me living in the basement, in my little room there, and the other half of my room.
In order to picture what I'm doing in my apartment, I want you guys to build an airplane in your bathroom.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. It is smaller than a motel room.
All right.
You can take about 3 foot or 4 foot off both directions in your average motel room, and you got about this whole apartment size, minus the bathroom.
That apartment we stayed in Cleveland was way bigger than what I live in.
I stayed in it was an efficiency apartment, but they called it a suite.
Yeah.
It was about twice the size of your standard motel room, and it had a mini kitchen in it with a little refrigerator, a stove. They supplied dishes, had kitchen, but it was a motel room. was really nice, and you could rent that thing a month at a time or whatever you wanted to, and that's what we did. We were down in Savannah, and we'd stay there for 3 months at a whack. And it was nice to come home to some place that you could stretch out a little bit, you know. You weren't laying on the bed. You could go over and sit on the couch and watch TV
I don't have that.
in the evening. I know you've got a futon
I sleep on the couch.
on the couch.
That's all right. Only for a few months, maybe end of the year. I should have everything paid off and out. Back home. Back where I can really build.
You still gonna build that RC plane? Or a RC plane?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna build, that Dauntless is just so big. I'd like to build one about 60-inch wingspan.
Well, there's a lot of them out there. You know, Top Flight's got a lot of sort of.
I'm only doing it to induce the RC guys to come over to control, to see how we build control line airplanes, because everything I do in control line can be done in RC.
Well, it used to be done in RC, but everything's going to these pre-made
Barfs, foamies.
Omis, ARF airplanes that are, you don't have any sweat equity in anything,
They're toys.
pretty much. Don't matter how big they are, they're still toys.
The stuff I do is old world craftsmanship from the 20s. I think the control line started, let's see what your control line started.
In like 30s or 20s.
Oba St. Clair.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. You can also try.
Dumbass. Let's try Jim Walker bell crank.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Jim Walker bell crank.
Jim Walker was a guard for Utah State in 2001.
No, not that Jim Walker. Jim Walker model
Jim
airplane.
Walker was a guard for Utah State in 2000.
Hey, dumbass. Jim Walker model airplanes.
I didn't get that. Try tapping above to edit.
It says right there what. No, I said Jim Walker model airplane. Hey, no, it says, hey, dumbass, Jim Walker model airplane. Okay.
That's why he didn't get it.
I found this on the web.
Okay. There we go. Jim Walker's Fire Baby.
1936.
Isn't it?
I don't know. I'm just taking, I think it's somewhere around in there.
1929. Let's see.
29.
Jim Walker was the president and founder of American Junior Aircraft Company, Portland, Oregon, which was established in 29. He's also known as an innovator, the man who had vision ahead of his time. Now, this man is not the guy who discovered the bell crank. It's Oba St. Clair. And it was a big battle over
They weren't allowed to print them on the plans and the kits or anything because there was a copyright.
Right. Glow plug in 47.
Well, they couldn't put them in kits.
58.
Made the Fire Baby, wasn't it?
Yep. Now, he was a very talented guy. He could fly 5 control line airplanes at once. I'm lucky to do one.
I don't know if he did 5, but I think he did 4.
No, he did 5.
He had one on his belt, one on his helmet, one in each hand,
One on his teeth.
and one in his teeth.
Well, they couldn't pull very hard.
No, I mean, you gotta have all those motors synced up just right to get the same speed, or else you're in big trouble. We've had guys recently that tried to fly 2 of them at a time, and listen, it's a feat.
Who was that? TJ?
No, it was what's his name? Up the throwback, damn guy.
Dan Vanguard?
Well, Danny may have been one of them. He was just go-board, I say. That does all that stuff in there.
Mike Palco?
Yeah, Falco. And Danny, I think, were both up there trying to fly 2 at once.
Well, I'm not sure what year the bell crank was done because it doesn't say, but it was a long time ago. And it was over St. Clair, not Jim Walker, but this phone is stupid. It can't figure out over St. Clair. And they had a big to-do about who really did it and the patent and all that, so they couldn't put bell cranks in kits. They just printed you a set of plans to a bell crank, which was not what we use today.
They weren't even drawn on the plans. The
No,
plans came with no drawings of the bell crank in them, so that they wouldn't infringe on the copyright.
The exact verbiage was, use your favorite control system.
Yeah. 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 Which there really is only one.
There's $1,000, or maybe it's $10,000, still up for grabs to anybody who can win the Nationals using a monoline.
In Stunt.
In Stunt, yeah.
Who put that up?
Whoever did monoline stuff.
There was a guy that flew monoline Stunt.
Yeah, but he didn't win.
No, he didn't win, but he flew it. I'd find that very difficult. That to me,
So you'd have to go.
you know, dang button out there, you'd be working the heck out of that button. And it'd have to be extra long to get enough twist in it to,
Get the control you did.
yeah.
Because I think a monoline, when they move a stroke, only moves the thing maybe 1/8 of an inch.
Oh yeah, if you're lucky. The speed planes that use that stuff, they just barely move. In fact, they're almost trimmed to where they fly without having to have any control put in them. It was fun to watch Jet Bill when he was flying. He would get one of them real hot days when them Dynajets was just cooking, and you could hear it. You could tell what they were on. And he'd get that jet down there in the boundary layer on the ground, about a foot off the ground.
Using the ground effects.
Ground effects. And man, that puppy would be going about 200 miles an hour. Gee, Christmas. Watched Coach Kim out there at our field one day, got screwed into the ground, man. It wrapped him up in them lines. He got behind the airplane. It took off and it hit. It was one of Jet Bill's planes, and it was one of his fast jets. And they let loose that thing, and it no sooner come out of the dolly, and it was already doing 200.
What's that guy's name? I always talk to him, and I always want to say Carl Dodge, but it's not. He's from Texas, wears a cowboy hat, had a beard for a while.
Charlie Leg.
Him and I think, not Wisniewski, what's that guy's name? Montegino. Montegino was flying his airplane. I think it was a D speed. Yeah, he had a D speed. And these guys are crazy. They let it go. They got a fence up to keep this airplane from killing you. Because this thing weighs, 5 pounds. And it's traveling at 200 miles an hour with a pointy ass spinner and prop and all that shit. And he just that's his name. He just standing there in the circle, 2 foot from the thing going by his head. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're crazy.
We have a speed cage in St. Louis that's a chain link fence. It's one of the only dedicated speed fields in the country. And I saw a Formula 40 go through the fence. They only go 140, 150 mile an hour. I saw it went through the pan, came out the other side, it stripped the engine right down to the crankshaft. And half the airplane stayed on one side of the fence, and the rest, the fuselage and engine went out on the other side in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it'll do it. Now they're using a lot of nylon netting and stuff like that.
It don't matter. It would still.
It still damages, but it sort of absorbs because it stretches instead of being hard.
Now, when they had the meets at Fort, what the hell, I can't even say it, in Indianapolis, Fort Benjamin Harris. They used to have temporary netting they put up. They had a Class 8.
Yeah, that was a traveling net. You could order it to have it delivered on certain days. Our old field had a dedicated speed circle, had combat circle, speed circle, and
I got weak
basically
circle.
what they considered was the scale circle, and then it had stunt circles. So it had everything. It had lighting. You could fly at night.
Now you have weed circles and goose shit piles.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta watch out for the geese.
The geese, low flying, free flight.
And they'll come through right in the middle of a stunt flight too, about
22 watchers.
20 feet off the ground.
Well, the only elliptical wing airplane that I know of that flew any good was a Bob Palmer Thunderbird. And it wasn't the greatest. It had differential flaps. They were trying to make work. And all you really need to do is add a 1/4 inch to the outboard flap to keep it from dropping.
I don't think elliptical wings fly all that good.
No.
I think they lose too much wing area
They're not efficient.
in the process. They look neat. I mean, they got that Spitfire look to them, you know, they look fast, look neat, but you really, when you start changing up your airfoil and going to elliptical shape airfoil, you lose so much square inches of wing area real fast.
The best wing out there, and I hate to say it, but it's proven, in my opinion, is a Yatsenko wing. If you look at the front of our wings, there's constant taper. They start at the center and they taper out to the end of the tip. If you look at a Yatsenko airplane, it stays thick to the same thickness from root to about midpoint, and then it starts to taper. We couldn't build one of those with wood. You can't even build it with foam. It has to be molded.
They're hard to, plus they've got a bent leading edge on them, which gives it that elliptical sort of shape, but it's not a true elliptical, and then they just shape the flaps a little bit like that and gives you that impression, but it isn't an elliptical wing.
I've watched a lot of airplanes, especially here recently in the last 20 years. And now this really cuts the hard road to hoe, but if you want to stand at the circle with me at the Nats, and let's discuss how the airplane flies, watch how electric airplanes kite in the overhead. They got no power. They're just out of juice.
Well, you're right, because if you think about it, you know, you can only draw so much out of a battery. And as it's dying, which is what it's doing, you
The
know,
tank is empty. You can't draw any more current.
it doesn't get leaner as the flight goes on like an IC engine does. As you get towards the end of the tank on an IC engine, they're sort of picking up power. And that's when all your harder maneuvers are, is in the later part of the pattern.
Yeah.
So you're not only getting lighter, you're going up in power. And so you're doing a couple of things that electrics don't do.
Electric would be great if they reversed the pattern. Start off with a 4 loop, take off 4 loop, go over.
Yeah, that'd probably be a better deal for them.
Yeah.
But I mean, way battery technology is coming about. It won't be too long before they'll have something that is half the weight, and delivers twice the power, and then you're gonna be in there real close. They're in there real close right now. I mean,
But it ain't there yet.
it's not quite there.
Yeah.
But, you know, a lot of guys are changing to that, and I think a lot of that's because they're lazy.
Well,
Don't want to clean the oil off the airplane.
that and they say it's too hard to get a motor run. I do not find it hard to get a motor run. So let's talk about my chucker flight. The
You
motor,
did not have a bad motor.
the motor sat for a year. It started on the first flip.
Yeah.
I thought it would be okay just to leave the needle to where it was. Well, it's a different time of year than when I quit flying it, so it was a slightly lean, but it was lean. And it didn't 4-cycle, it just two cycle, but it was a constant 2-cycle and not overly lean.
It wasn't hot.
And we were running a very fast lap speed. So, okay, great. Come down from the next flight. I opened it up a half a turn and took off, and it was still not quite rich enough, almost though. And what was it, 5.1, 5.2?
5.1, right at 5.1.
5.1 lap speed.
So you're only a 4.9, 4.98, 4.97, you know, which is a little fast, not unflyable, but a little fast. I don't like to fly faster than 5s, but.
Well, it's a little fast when it's a tail every airplane.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
That's
But,
why it was
you
squirrely.
know, you're really looking for somewhere around 5.2, 5.3, somewhere around there for laps.
And for the life of me, I don't understand how that airplane at 60, it was 60 ounces when I flew it, how it could be tail heavy at 60 ounces with a 10-inch nose. But
Well,
it did.
you got the tank shoved back into the wing 2 inches, and
The motors moved back, the tanks moved
does that
back.
one have a prop shaft extension on it?
Yes.
So the motors moved back a half or 3/4 of
But
an inch.
so is the Junar, but it's 2 ounces lighter.
Well, you built the stab at 2.5 ounces instead of 3 or 3.25, plus all your paint. You put an extra coat of paint on it or something, and right there you got it. You got it pretty much dialed in to what balance is right. You know, with your paint system and the dimensions that you put on the airplane,
It's
as
close.
long as you watch your wood and you're careful with your wood, it's going to be pretty close to balancing right out of the book with a couple different motors, whether it be a Super Tiger. If it balances with a Super Tiger 60, it'll balance with a PA 75 or 65, which are probably comparable, maybe a little bit heavier, an ounce heavier maybe
Yeah.
than a Super Tiger 60.
My biggest thing is inertia. I want to get all that weight out to get rid of the inertia.
Well, you're getting into wild bill mid-band stuff, which most people don't know a lot about that.
Well, I'm not a mathematician, but I sure know what works.
Right, you know, common sense will lead you
A Volkswagen will turn sharper than a Cadillac
down the right path.
because you got half the weight.
Equivalent horsepower in 2 different cars that weigh 1,000 pounds difference, you're gonna find one's gonna accelerate better. You know, they say you can fly a brick on a string.
Yeah, not very well.
But I guess you could.
Well, anything will fly. You put enough horsepower to it. Toilet seat will fly, and I've proved it.
But yeah.
We need to build one.
Yeah, I know. I had one years ago. I had a flying saucer, and I had, well, it wasn't a toilet seat, but it was a round circle with no center in
A toilet seat the lid will fly.
it.
You just put a notch in it and a boom on the back with a stabulator and a bell crank in the center, but it's real simple.
It's a flat bottom airfoil.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is that? It's a toilet seat.
I had one that my dad bought, and I can't remember the name of it, whether it was a sassy saucer or whatever, but Dad built that back in, oh, probably the 50s.
I got it. I'll go stop at Lowe's on the way home. I'll build a toilet seat and give it to Paul Walker and say, "This is what you got to buy."
This is what you got to compete with this year. Make sure you trim it real good.
Now the bad thing about that is, I bet he could fly it.
Yeah, he probably could. He could fly it definitely a lot better than 90% of people out there.
I know Joe Gilbert could fly it.
Yeah, he'd give it a shot too.
We'll bend up some 1/8-inch landing gear, put some landing gear clips on it. And we need to make one. I had one as a kid. Because it was kind of a bet. Well, you can't get that to fly.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh?
We used to do all that kind of stuff. Dad's RC airplanes that he had, there's stab and elevator combinations made perfect 049 there. Well, not perfect because they were hinged at the halfway point.
50%, yeah. Well, I think this is about dry enough to move. So it's pretty much dried out. It's got a nice shine. This will all get painted black inside here, the whole thing all the way up to here, and we'll get a fake dashboard, put the pilot in, put the canopy on, mold it in, take the canopy off, and then spray this, and it'll all look beautiful. Now if you look at the fillets here, because of the extra sanding, and this is not a flow coat, this is just kind of overspray. You can't see it or feel it. Same with the fillet up here. This will all blend in perfectly when I put a flow coat on this. And all that paint that's in that jar won't get used if I can help.
Well, you got how much? A whole quart?
Yeah, I got a pint in there.
Then 60%.
Yeah.
You'll use the better part of that. You'll probably end up with about 1.5 inches left in the bottom.
But try not to use the paint. Just because you got it doesn't mean you got to use it.
Right, exactly. Only put on enough to cover. Don't spray out that cup of paint at the end. If you really don't need to spray it out, just to empty the spray cup.
Yeah, if you got to empty it out, empty out the can't pour it in the trash.
Pretty much. Put it in a little bottle somewhere to touch up paint. But that cockpit area was all primer. It was all gray. He shot one coat of paint on it, and that was enough. It covered that gray primer in one coat. So he shot 2 coats on there because it's inside the canopy, there's no going back on. Let's make sure. But technically, that first coat would have done it just fine.
There is a difference between SIG, Brodak, and Randolph. Randolph will cover it in one coat.
If you're spraying it on there 50-50, it definitely will cover one coat. The white.
Red covers real good.
All red, black, all the colors. The yellow is the same as white. Yellow's hard to cover, it don't matter what. But it'll still cover in one coat.
If you're going to paint a yellow airplane, you need to paint it white first.
Well, what color yellow you want? You want school bus yellow, or do you want
Well, the Cub yellow will spray over primer. Right?
lemon yellow?
Lemon yellow won't.
Yeah, it'll take all of it and darken it.
Right.
So you take any, like the reds will do that with red. They'll do that with oranges. It'll do that. That's why I always put a base, try to make my base white. So that my airplanes are, at least they've got a light coat of white over the whole thing just to make them the same color. And then
They've
you
been
can,
smoking
then
in
you
this
can
chair,
paint.
but they've been smoking out their ass.
Yeah, that's some hot farts. They, I use a little bit of everything. I use SIG colors, Brodeck colors, but my main white is Randolph
Now,
now. I won't go back. I'm not so sure that SIG Crystal Clear is a little more fuel proof than Brodeck Crystal Clear, but I think Randolph is even better than SIG. Even though I think they're made by the same thing, but they do something to them to make them,
it's all made in the same building.
yeah.
Just put a different label on it.
You know, they got proprietary stipulations in there, and they add a little chemical here or a little bit different.
I need to call them guys again and see if I can get them to make Aerogloss.
They won't do that. EPA's. In fact, I'd be surprised if this stuff doesn't get phased out in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I'll be painting water base.
Yeah, be paint water base, exactly. Base coat, clear coat.
Garbage.
And I'm not so sure that that's not just as volatile and nasty as this stuff is. This is really rather benign.
Oh yeah.
You get into those clear coat stuff, and
Okay.
they're a lot worse.
If you look at West Systems, they got roll-on paint for your car. Roll-on with a roller.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
I saw that. That stuff actually smoothed out pretty nice. The one I saw.
The stuff that's really cool, look up brush on chrome. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that stuff pretty neat. We'll rinse it off with water,
Yeah, you
brush it on, and it's like water running down on it, man.
It's unreal. And it'll turn your car chrome. And it looks like chrome.
Yeah, it's pretty neat stuff.
First you paint it black, and then you brush this chrome paint on, and then you water it, and
Yeah,
It
looks just like chrome. See, I watched a video the other day. A guy took all of his leftover Chroma-Color paints, high-dollar paints, you know, stuff that's $500 a pint.
yeah,
And he took all these different colors and mixed them together and then painted his car with it. And everywhere you went, it changed colors. You walk all the way around that car, one way it looked green, one way it looked purple, one way it looked black, one way.
that's Shimron flip-flop.
Yeah, it is flip-flop paint. All different colors of flip-flop paint.
Oh, that is pearl.
And that's some kind of, something that they put in it. Whatever it is, they charge out the yin-yang for it.
Abalone shell.
Yeah.
It is.
Why not put rock on your airplane or your car? Or,
Metallics are the heaviest colors. The lightest color to paint would be black. And you say, well, why is that? Because it covers so good. However, if you think I'm going through sanding now to get white to look good, triple that for black, or quadruple it. I mean, because black will show everything, every mistake. And you can't see it when you're flying, because when you're flying along, and especially at dusk, and you go through the tree line or whatever, poof, it's gone. You can't see your airplane.
a guy by the name of Mike, I can't remember his last name. Him and his son used to fly. I can't remember their last name for the life of me, but he built an I-beamer, a Junar or a Cobra or something like that, and painted it black. Talk about some sand in an I-beam. That thing, well, he's a auto paint. He was an auto painter by trade.
How much a puppy weigh?
It was a nice airplane. It was a really nice airplane. It wasn't a 70 ounce or anything like that, but it was flat, beautiful. But I can feel for him for the paint and all that stuff, especially on an I-beam, because you have to stay off the ribs and do all that sand and then make everything flat. Oh my God.
Maybe we'll black monocoat on this Cobra.
It looked good.
We'll make a police plane. Black wings, white body. The Police Cab Company, one-way ride to nowhere.
They had a computer rendition of an airplane that looked like the rear fender of a 57 Chevy. 57 Chevy. One that had the big fins on the back. And it flowed perfectly into the fin and rudder that fin did. And they had that inlay on the side, the chrome outline inlay on the side.
I think I've seen this thing.
Oh, that'd be sort of neat. Almost, you know what a chiseler looks like. It's sort of on the lines of a chiseler look, but a little more radical.
Now, Bob Hunt's airplane, it looks like not the one he's flying now, but the other one. What was that?
We had the Crossfire, and then we had
The one before that.
before that
The
the
Genesis.
Genesis.
That's a fish.
Yeah,
It looks just like one of those fish. It's I mean,
yeah. It needed more
eyes.
fin and rudder area.
Yeah.
Needed dorsal fin put on
Yeah.
it.
Or a turd hanging off the bottom.
Yeah, off the back, and
There-
there's the rear wheel, and
They got a fish that's rainbow color. I can't remember the name of them fish. Tropical fish.
um, you know what you're talking about. I can't remember.
But it looks just like Bob Hunt's Genesis. And I made some banana wheel pants.
Genesis is a nice looking airplane. I always liked this airplane.
About as good as looking as a time machine or a...
Well, there was two of them that were similar. There was the Genesis, and then somebody else built one that was very similar to that one. What was the name of that one? I'm getting old. Can't remember stuff anymore.
They had time machine and...
Well, the time machine was just
What's the 660? Les McDonald, what did he fly?
that's the one I'm thinking of. The one that Les did. It looks sort of like Hunt's plane.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what the name of the plane.
Now, USA 1 is an Aptrix. Jerry Worth Aptrix. That Billy stole the looks of.
All those airplanes that Billy built, bless his heart, and he can build. But if you don't build them right, they don't fly.
Yeah.
You can't build those airplanes at 65 and 70 ounces and stuff like that and have them fly. They
If
gotta
this airplane here had a USA 1 wing and it would have to weigh 55 ounces.
Yeah.
But this is a 1/4 inch thicker.
Yeah.
Same platform, 1/4 inch thicker.
This is a good, I think that's probably better wind airplane than an SV.
Yeah.
Because the SV's more high aspect ratio, thinner wing, not necessarily longer. but
Less
thinner.
cord, longer wing. Yeah.
This is 58 inch wingspan and SV 60.
Actually, this is a 60-inch wingspan on this one. 59 and a
Yeah,
half.
well, we bebop around in there an inch or two. Wingtip shapes and stuff. It doesn't affect them too much. But you'll find that a 46 size airplane is not that much smaller than what these airplanes are. And these airplanes are really 46 size airplanes flying with 75s in them.
I think I'm gonna go put this in the car. It's quit raining.
you can't get the balsa wood you could back in the day.
Turned out good. We'll go ahead and paint the canopy and the cockpit tonight and get that mounted up. Oh, it hasn't quit raining. It's still sprinkling.
You don't get it wet.
Might melt.
Experimentation, that's the fun part. You build these things, and as long as you keep in mind it's just a piece of wood, and I'm sculpting it to look like whatever I want, and there's basic numbers that work. May not be, you know, your pro stunt killer airplane, but it'll be a nice utilitarian, you know, tear up the sky sort of thing. You know, and then you could use the numbers and just massage the outlines of them to make them look whatever they are, and it's just a matter of sanding, shaping it something a little different.
I'm more than satisfied with how that came out.
Oh yeah,
It's perfect.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't kick that out of the hangar.
No, I'm real happy with how that cockpit's gonna turn out. Now, if the rest of the airplane looks like that, we're in there.
It will.
Yeah.
I am.
At what cost?
62 ounces.
Yeah, still in there, but I'll have to weigh it when I get back and see where I'm at, how much I picked up.
That's what I said it was going to weigh before it was 62, because you didn't use your best wood in that.
I used the best wood I had.
Well, that you had, but I've seen you use a lot better wood, and they came out at 58.
I can't get it though. I'm using the best I can get.
If you're selecting 6 pound or better wood, you're going to build a 70-ounce airplane.
Yeah, I can't get around it.
And believe me, these airplanes don't have any wood in them. We've gone to the Geodetic Wing, Warren Truss, whatever you want to call it, which knocks out a bunch of ribs, cut down the dimensions on the lumber, and trailing edge sheeting 3/4 of an inch instead of inch or an inch and a quarter.
3/16 spars.
16th inch ribs, and these are, you know, I've even taken them and hollowed those all out like an I-beamer, and
Yeah.
that didn't save me much, but it saved me some. But to do that, then you got to go to a heavier grade wood, or they won't hold up. And don't build these airplanes. The big thing is, don't build an airplane to last. Build an airplane to fly.
One season.
1 season, 1 year. If you're a good flyer, it'll last you 3 or 4 or 5 years. And you take care of it. But if you're heavy-handed and klutzy and whatever, you know, it's going to be tough to keep one to last more than a year. Even those Yashinko planes, they're made in a mold, they're fiberglass, all that stuff, they're still only made to last a year.
Yeah.
Or 1 stunt season. Let's say 1 stunt season.
Not 40,000 flights.
Yeah, because they'll pound them in. They'll go out and burn a gallon or 2 gallons on a day or something. Do that every other day. But that's what it takes to get top notch, become a top notch pilot. But your planes will fly better. You'll find that they'll last just as long, even though they're lighter and more fragile, as long as you're careful with them. They'll last 3 or 4 years.
Oh yeah. Wow.
And, you know, by then you could strip them down and refinish them and bring them back.
That's what needs to be done to my Junar.
Yeah.
I just need to make the commitment.
Because that base is a good light base airplane.
Yeah.
it'll probably pick up about 2 ounces on a refinish job, but you can't get around that.
Well, I will try not to refinish it all. I will try to finish the,
Do it like we're doing now with the tinted clear, and
I'll just try to fix all the sag where the skins come loose. That airplane flies so good. It's just, it's
if you could
spot
take
on.
the fuselage off and not do anything to the wings, because I think the wings are pretty good shape.
Yeah.
It's just the fuselage.
Yeah, I just refinished the fuselage. And it's only the back half that's bad.
Get some paper towel soaked in lacquer thinner or something in it and try to get the tissue and all that off.
Dr. Scholl's foot powder.
What about it?
That's what you use to get everything out. It's
Oh yeah, to suck up
alcohol and Dr.
and
Scholl's
stuff,
foot
yeah.
powder.
Cornstarch will work, probably not as good.
Little ball slide.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I guess we're done for Saturday. I appreciate you watching. I really appreciate the super chat that we had on the last go around. I see that we had 18 watchers. Afternoon, Christopher, Gary Sinclair, Tetra. I don't know what that is. Mark Lawman says, "Hey guys, just want to know." Oh, elliptical wing. I guess that's going to do it for today. We've done 4 hours streaming. Actually 5, because it was 3 hours before and 2 hours this time. So that's about all John can handle. And I got to stop by the grocery store on the way home and pick up some TV dinners. Then it's going to be, I'll work on the airplane tonight, and then tomorrow I will be cleaning my apartment and doing laundry, so that's probably an all-day ordeal. Might get a little bit of streaming later on tomorrow night. I don't know. It depends on whether I get everything done, because I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you got a lot of straightening up to do.
Well, everything's dusty, full of
Lot
pulp dust.
dusting. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.
Evening.